Morning fellas, regarding our tortured patriots, Tommy Robinsin and Britain First, who've been targeted mercilessly and sadistically by the government, been thrown in jail for doing nothing wrong basically, for just trying to publicise the truth about England's Britain's mass rape gangs. It has been going on for 30 years. This case was particularly shocking because it was in Shropshire. Shropshire is kind of middle England, and I've been to Shropshire many times. It's quite wooded and a little bit old-fashioned in places, and it's full of high-achieving middle-class people. You know, they all own businesses. I mean, there's more Jaguars and more Audis in the area than enough. You know, probably as many as in London per capita. As we see, these are some of the Telford rapists that were finally jailed. They are of all of one ideology, as we'd normally expect. They were also serial drugs dealers. This is selling heroin, crack cocaine and what have you. And they were pretty damn violent, as they usually are in that business. They were so violent, or potentially violent in fact, that one of them actually set fire to a family's house and burnt alive, I think it was 2 young girls and the mother. They really did do this. This is because they thought they might end up going to jail they might get caught. You see, I mean, these cases are very rarely reported on. They're hushed up as quickly as possible. They always have reporting restrictions put on them. So when information does get out, it gets out months later. These are the girls that actually died in house fires set by these plonkers, these horrible people. Very racist individuals. It has to be said, despite the claims of being a religion of peace. It's never been anything to do with peace. Why do you think so? Well, about 100,000 or thereabouts Christian people, peasants, serfs, King Richard I, Philip II. Why did you think they jumped on ships and walked like 3,300 miles to try and claim back our lands? Because they were treating them terribly. They did the routine Islamic thing, stealing the children to sell as sex slaves. Because the 7th century leader of this ideology was in fact a slave dealer and a paedophile and certainly a mass murderer. Because we know this because it says it in their writings. But the thing is, of course, none of these plebs at the universities or working for the Guardian or working for the Daily Mail, Mr. What's your name? Mr. Fielding. Yeah, none of you have read anything about it. You know nothing about it, do you, Mr. Simon Fielding? Here's one of them. I say there's at least 3 girls died. One died in some kind of fake road accident. This is one of the mean mothers. Yeah. And well, why has it been covered up for so long? Well, obviously, a lot of these towns where this has happened have been Labour controlled, and Labour are the ones that have sold this. Oh, it's a religion of peace. We'll all live happily together. Multicultural bliss. Oh yes, that's what it's going to be. Except for the female genital mutilation, the gross 350 acid attacks in London every year that blinds people. You know, the mass drug stealing these people bring, and part of the reason they cover it up, or the main reason they cover it up, is because they're on such great money. Yes, one of the executives recently has had a £47,000 pay increase, taking it up to £103,000. And related bonus, I beg your pardon, including bonuses, £150,000 per year he gets. In this town, Telford, where they've grossly failed all the girls, especially the poorer girls, because they're usually the ones, the chav girls, as they say disrespectfully here, the girls from whose parents don't have businesses and don't drive new BMWs and maybe living on benefits or do ordinary jobs as, you know, garbage men or, you know, soldiers. They don't deserve £150,000 a year, but this pleb that hasn't even done his bloody job for 20 years or whatever, you know, he deserves it, does he? Yeah, of course he does. Should be sent down the road with a kick up the arse, in my opinion. And some of them as well, of course, have been found, as well as a lot of these guys being, shall we say, non-white. non-European heritage. Nearly all the councillors, I think it's about 21 out of 22 councillors in Telford, are in fact non-white. And at least 3 of them recently have been found to be perverts themselves. So is it any wonder they don't want these men pursued? They're probably in with it. They are pervert. Graham Bold, 60, was a vicar and a chair of Shropshire County Council Social Services Department from 1993 to 1998. There he is. There's the old perv. Yeah. And he's not the only one. There's 2 others. Yes, so this is a bad case because they've been, as in Rotherham and as in Manchester and as in Luton and all over London, they've been getting away with it. They've had a free pass to do this for years by these religion of peace idiots that think, oh, if you charge a man for raping a load of kids, that's racist, isn't it? Well, no, it's just long-awaited justice, isn't it? Hasn't been in my book. These guys are, the trouble being, these guys are now a protected group under law. He stated this at the Jada Franson's trial, so they're just classed like gays and like other people. They've got more rights than any of these girls that have ended up pregnant, ended up 3 of them, at least 3 of them here, been killed. There's been numerous girls gone missing. You can imagine, you know, these guys dupe some 12, 14-year-old into letting them take the virginity, promising to be the husband, and within a week or 2, you know, they're getting the mates to screw them for 20 quid a go, £20 a go, and they're texting the mates. You can imagine how used the girls feel. And if they dare and turn around and say, well, I'm going to go to the police, you've treated me terribly, you know, I feel very used, I'm pregnant, you know, you can imagine it's quite much easier to get rid of the girls than to risk prosecution.